Hello, my name is Miller, and in this video I'm gonna answer some questions about my experience through this month and basically um, talk a little bit about some questions that I recommended to answer in the LMS. And the first one was, or is, what was the most challenging part of learning about rigid bodies and particle solvers? Well, I think that the rigid bodies was not like so difficult. I understand um, what do they do, how do they work. I think that the most difficult part was understanding how does the node system work, because I was like very used to Maya. That okay, you have it's important to keep everything organized, especially in classes like rigging, where you like determine how does our joint move, like when you organize everything in the layer system. But in the node system you basically are creating a network about how like each what do you call this, about how does the particle, about how does the particle react when you move it right, left, when you like organize the translations, when you are creating those simulations, but everything like step by step, like you're building a house where you are putting the bricks to like create what do you want the house to look like when you're finished. So it's like a lot of information, a lot of work, but when you understand what each of these, like for example, I'll place it here. When you understand why this soft path is going to the sphere and it's connected to the mesh and connected to the rigid body and the gravity, and that if you wanna, for example, create movement in this part, you have to go to the initial state and the physical state and create like the motion that you want for this object, etc., etc. It makes everything a lot easier to understand if you have any problem or you want to solve it, because you start basically saying, okay, it's working here, then it's working here, then it's working here, it's working here, it's working here, and then you find the mistake. That's pretty cool, honestly, because the same that is like more information and it can make everything a little bit more complicated, it can make everything a little bit easier to find the mistake. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to do. The next question is, what was your favorite project to work and why? I have it ready right here. And without a doubt, was this one. Because I was with all my family, like asking, like, what do you think? It looks similar to the reference, and they say like, the tear is a little bit bigger. Maybe if you put some like white in the end of the tears, and I was like, I can't do that because that's probably light and I don't know how to use light. And they said like, well, try to use it if you know how to use it, but if not, it's fine. And I was like, okay, I'm going to experience a little bit with light in Houdini, and it was good. Then the background, they didn't like the background, so I put a giant plane in the background to make everything blue, similar to the reference, changing the position of the camera. That was a lot of fun. And of course, I learned a lot about the particle system, uh, playing with the back system to create the movement that I want, the speed, the shape of the deer. I like this assignment a lot, not because he was like pretty interactive with the reference, also because I learned a lot about Houdini. And let me see, next question. If you could design a cool object to work on, what would it be? Don't do this to me, please, because I don't have a question right now because I want to do so many things. But let me think in one in specific. Hmm. Hmm. Honestly, design a cool project to work on. I think that I would like to work in a project that has like a lot of a lot of like magical things, if you know what I'm saying. Like, I want to work in a project where you have like um, a fantasy world that has a lot of effects of like shine, sword that is on fire, electricity. There was a project, a video game exactly, that at the beginning it looked so cool to play. It was called Biomutant. And I was like, okay, this game looks great. You can mix weapons and create like weapons of fire, then electricity, then like toxic weapons, and then like ice weapons, and mix everything to create really cool combos. And it was like, this is great. And then when I played the game, I didn't play the game, I watched reviews of the game, and they didn't do it correctly. It was like kind of empty the map and a lot of errors. But if I could work in a project with a lot of fantasy, like Final Fantasy, for example, I think that I could experience every type of effect that Houdini have to offer, because I could create like every effect. Every I want a sword that is on fire. Okay, perfect. I want to create a ship. Okay, perfect. I want to create weapon that shoot frozen objects. Okay, you got it. So yeah, I think that those could be a really cool project to work on, something with fantasy. And yeah, that's basically my reflection of the month. I'm sorry I took more than 5 minutes. So yeah, have a good day or night.